Awesome. So, let's go back to our conversation. And I know the last time you made a very profound beginning by letting us know the difference between a goal and a target and how you need to embody your goal to become, to achieve the targets you have set. And that was very
Yeah,
profound. So everybody that was live with us could tell how profound that was because, like you said, insanity is doing the same thing over again and expecting a different result. So that's just a little recap, into what we discussed last week before the network took us on a ride. So thank you again for joining us. Thank you so much. So to the first question for today, how do you define a clear, achievable goal? And in your experience, if possible, share from your experience how you define clear, achievable goals.
okay. I want to start by saying thank you to everyone who is on the call. Thank you guys for the guys behind the camera. I see there's a lot of challenges, and the topic we're treating, vision and determination, is exactly what is happening here right now. We are supposed to have given up, right? But
Yeah.
because we're determined to make this happen, that's why we're still on this call, and we are still doing it with smiles. So I want to say thank you to everyone who is who is on the other side of the camera, and thank you for having me also. Thank you once again. You know, so to your question, I want to say that defining a clear-cut goal that is achievable, uh, I would say that to begin, you have to actually have a goal first. That is the first thing that has to happen. You have to have a goal first. And how do we know you have a goal? You have a goal by evidence that you have written something down. If it's not written down, you've got no goal. You just got a mere wish. So that is one of the evidence that you have a goal. And you say, this is who I write it down. This is who I am becoming by so and so time. This is who I am becoming. This is what I'm going to achieve when I become this. This is the process, all of that. So, and we are very familiar with the SMART way of setting goals, right? So where your goal, they say your goal have to be SMART, meaning I don't know if I can remember all of that, but I will try. S says it has to be specific. M says it has to be measurable.
Oh,
A is achievable. R is realistic. And T says it has to be time bound. Okay, so and this is what makes a goal that is achievable. When you have looked at, is the goal specific? What exactly do you want? The problem most people have in this world that we are in, the major problem is lack of clarity. The major challenge most people have in achieving or becoming who they dream about is lack of clarity. People don't know exactly what they want. And if you don't know exactly what you want, everything looks like it. Yeah. And that is why
yeah.
people from one thing to the other because they don't know exactly what they want. The day people know what they want, it will trigger the second part of it, to trigger what we call focus. It is when you know what you want to begin to focus. Have you ever thought of, let's say, when you were very small, there's this particular cookies, biscuit that you want. It's as if you now go to every shop, you see it there, right? Because the picture is, you know exactly what you want. And let's say when you get the money to buy a car, watch it. Before, you used to think that all messages are messages. But once you have the money to buy a car and Mercedes becomes your target, that is when you now begin to go into detail to know that not all Mercedes are Mercedes. There are different models of Mercedes, and there are different years of the Mercedes, different specs. How many of you get a point? So most people don't have clarity in what they want. If once you are clear, focus becomes the next thing that will happen by default. You begin to focus, you begin to look for where, your eyes becomes very, 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 very focused on the things that look like what it is you are clear about. So the first thing you have to do in setting goals that will be achievable is to be clear of what it is that you want. Is when you are clear, you now begin to focus. The next, you have to start concentrating your energy. All of the things you are doing now begin to focus on that stuff. Your energy begin to pull together to make that thing happen. Because if your energy is scattered, you achieve nothing. It was someone that said that a dam does not, he say as a dam, it doesn't generate electricity until it is focused. It is put in one place. And that is what everyone needs. And how do I define focus? I define focus as the process of converging your scattered attention to a single task and purpose. Focus is, I didn't get it anywhere, but the time I used to be a very staunch physics guy. So they say when you carry that lens, there's a focal lens you can use to actually trap the sun rays and it will light a paper. I noticed that when you have the focal lens, meaning focus, if you have it, the scattered rays of the sunlight gets packed together to one place. And if your life is not focused, it cannot make any strong impact. So as such, when you are clear of what you want, it leads to focus. And focus, I said, is the process of converging your scattered attention to a single task and purpose. The process of converging your scattered attention to a single task and purpose. And most of the greatest achievers in the world are focused people. What are they known? Oh, this guy is number one in real estate. This guy is this. They are not everywhere. They have chosen a place and they have decided to give it all of their energy. And that is what anyone who is on this call should be doing if they are going to achieve whatever goal they have set for themselves, right? So there's a lot of put together to come up with all of this, but I just mentioned a few things that will help a goal to be achievable, right? If you're clear of what you want, it leads to being focused and it leads to concentration. It leads to concentration. When you concentrate on something, all your energy is there. Nothing grows big until it is concentrated. Do you get my point? The thing that expands when brought together is concentration. Concentration expands stuff when it is put in one place. Instead of scattering your attention here and there, you put it in one place. The same thing you're focusing on expands. It says energy, energy goes where attention goes, right? So, and that is what happens. If you start paying attention to something, you begin to put energy to it, and before you know it, that thing begins to grow. So most of the time, we're saying, if you're going to achieve a goal, if you're going to set a realistic goal, make it smart. Specific means clarity is achieved.
Yeah.
Measurable means somebody said, whatever I cannot measure, you cannot improve. Okay? That you got that, right? If you can't measure it, you can't improve it. If you can't measure the processes of doing that stuff, you can't improve the processes. And that is why you have to make sure that the goal is measurable. What are the KPIs? What things do we see and we say we are progressing, we are moving forward, right? And the goal have to be achievable. Some people are good with, creating voluminous illusions. Oh, and that's what I
It's going
always.
me to the next question because I wanted to speak about
I hope your network will allow you to talk. Hello, are you there? My goodness. Oh my God. So I don't know if we're still streaming. Yeah, I think we're still streaming, right? So I was still trying to explain some things before she left the call. So I was still saying that, as a matter of fact, if you are going to achieve a goal, the goal has to be smart. The goal has to be smart. Smart in the sense that, one, it has to be specific, it has to be measurable, it has to be achievable, it has to be realistic, and it has to be time bound. When do you want to get this happen? See, the fact that you put time to the goal puts you on your toes. The fact that you put time to the goals puts you on your toes. That's what I'm trying to say. So if you're able to put time to when you're going to be achieving your goal, you see, you will begin to put things in place to reach that. And the fact is that that time can be adjusted by you so that you don't show up one day and be like, oh, I said I'm going to achieve this by so and so time. And because you are not able to do that at that time, you get depressed. No, you are the one that set the goal. You can also adjust the time of achieving the goal. I don't know if that makes sense. I don't know if that makes sense. I want to be sure people are hearing me. If you can hear me, if you're following this conversation, please drop a comment on the comment section. So I will be sure you are following on this conversation. Thank you. Someone said we are still here. Someone said we are still here. If you're following on this conversation, please just say, yes, I'm still here. I can hear you. Please go ahead and I will go ahead. Thank you. Okay, thank you. I see the reactions. I see the reactions saying yes, they can hear me. So, as a matter of fact, let me take a little time and talk about this goal setting and how to set your goals to be able to achieve it, right? One of the things you have to do again is for you to achieve a goal, you have to look at, no matter how big the goal is at the time, you have to possibly look at the ones you've been able to achieve before. There are things you have set your mind to do and you are able to achieve them, right? So let those ones you've done before become a propeller for you to say, if I was able to do this, then I can do this other one. You remember when you were writing your maybe junior WIEC and you were like, can I ever pass the exam? But it was the same you that wrote first school living, that wrote your entrance exam and got admitted, right? Okay, that is one. Then when you got to write WIEC, you got scared again. Why are you getting scared? It was you who actually passed your junior WIEC. That's why you are even in the class where you are now. You actually passed your exams in the first, second term in SS1, SS2, SS3. Oh, you get to jam, right post-UTME, and you are still scared. If you had not passed jam, how would you have written post-UTME? So your previous credentials should be a supporting aid for you anytime you set a new goal. Go back to your archives, check the things you'll be able to do and achieve. Use them as a propeller to tell you that this goal you've set, you can achieve it. After all, when your level of knowledge was even at a very lower level, you were able to achieve a lot of things. Some people say you were able to overcome even in the day of conception, because there were millions of sperms that were released and you were the one that overcame and became number one. So that is what can happen for you. I'm saying this because most times we set goals and we think we need to have all it takes to achieve it. Yes, but you need to have the minimal effort, the minimal resources, the in chemistry it's called the activation energy. You need to have the activation energy that can trigger the rest of the reactions. So that is what you need. And the fact is that as you walk in the way gets found. As you walk in the path opens up for you. As you walk in the way gets found. Most of the times, you may not have all of it figured out. You may not have all of it figured out, but you are able to say, you are able to take your first step. Most time when you're climbing the staircase, you don't see the end of the staircase, but because you have seen it in your mind, you by faith take the first step. And that is one of the ways to achieve very big goals. I don't know if Fola is back here now. I see you're back. Are you?
Absolutely, yes, I am. That was so
Oh,
profound.
thank
Setting goals that uh that you can, pull from your track record instead of setting something that is not in line with, anything you've ever done, which is fine, to think big, but it's important to also think about your capacity and what is realistically achievable based on the things you've done before. Thank you so much for sharing that. And I know that, everybody on this call today is taking a lot of
This your network is really poor. I hope we'll get it fixed so we can be able to do the class. Are you there? Okay, someone is asking, can you walk us through an example of a recent goal you've set and achieved? Okay. Can you walk us through an example of a recent goal you set and achieved? Okay, so one of the things I do, like I was talking to my friend the other day, and he was asking me, how are you able to figure out the things you want to do and get them done? See, one, one of the major ways this happens is the fact that I've got a mindset already. I was sharing with my friend, I said, before I got admission to study in photo, I had read about 71 books, like 71 books. That is not chemistry, maths, physics, biology, and all of those. 71 books. So I knew exactly what I wanted, right? So whenever I go out to do anything, the first thing I do is to declare exactly what I want. And one of the ways to do that is to say what you want to achieve to someone, not just yourself. I say to him, he asked me, how is it that you have a record of things you've achieved? And there's a record that shows when you say you're gonna do them and when you actually get them done. I said, one of the things I do is there is this Bible verse that says, the expectations of the righteous shall not be cut short, right? And uh, and the fact is, I don't know how I'm going to explain this, but please follow me. Follow me. When you hear that the expectation of the righteous shall not be cut short, what does that mean to you? It simply means the righteous expect something to happen for them or expect something to happen for you. So when the righteous has an expectation, God will not from heaven throw down the answer of that expectation, right? God, through someone, will make that expectation to happen. And as such, if you live your life in a way that the righteous expects a lot from you, then God will put the resources to make that happen in your life. I don't know if that makes sense to you. So in your family, in your workplace, if I show up in my workplace, if I show up in a group, in an association, I want to create that feeling that makes the team I'm working with, that makes my family members, that makes anyone who I come in contact with to have a strong expectation of high delivery from my end. And as such, each time I have the resources, I have the energy, I have the mental capacity to deliver on some of those. So what I do most of the time is that I show up and I declare my new goal publicly. And I say, this is what I'm going to achieve. What does that do for me? It helps me to have people who will monitor and say, oh, there is a cloud of witnesses that are watching to say, this is what this guy says he's going to achieve. Let's see if he can do that. And because you have declared it, you are going to find the means to make it happen. And I said to my friend, I said, many people, look at this, look at what happens to many people. Many people actually break up with their goals because people don't know about those goals. I give an instance. In a relationship, when you are in a relationship and it is a secret relationship, Nobody knows that you're in a relationship. Your mother doesn't know, your father doesn't know, your brothers, your sisters, your friends, your best friends, your network, your connections. They are not aware that you're in any relationship, right? What does that mean? It simply means any day you feel you're tired, you know, do again. You can go secretly to the person who you are in that relationship with and break up. Is it true? Yes, it is true. That's what happens to most relationships. People come back and we don't know when they enter the relationship, but they will not come and tell us when they got heartbroken. That is what also happens when you date your vision, when you date your goals in secret. When you date your goals in secret, when you date them in secret, when you date your vision in secret, often because nobody knows what you have set as a goal, as a vision. Nobody is asking you, nobody is checking on you to know how is the relationship with your vision going. Nobody is asking you that question. And because of that, any day something happens and you don't feel like continuing, you just give up. You will not proceed anymore. So, and that is why I say, I advise, let your relationship with your vision and goals be public. Be public. Public, I'm not saying it has to be on every social media platform. I'm saying let someone that is not just you know about it. Don't date your vision and goals in secret. If not, you break up with it in secret and nobody will ask you questions. But when you know that people are anticipating something for you because you have said it out to them, your friends, your mom, your dad, everybody who you are connected to are anticipating an outcome from you because you have shared that outcome with them already. What happens? You put in all your energy. You want to make it work, right? You want to make it work. So as a matter of fact, if you're going to achieve any goal, make sure your goal is out there in the public, Public, I'm not saying on the internet. I'm saying let there be people who know about the goal you want to achieve. Let someone who you respect know about the goal you want to achieve. Tell them what it is you want to do. And if they know, they will check on you and say, hey, Mr. Excel, how far? You said you're going to, and because you know people are going to ask you for the outcome you promised, you're going to work hard on it. Even when things are not working the way you think is going to happen, you will be patient and work on it because people are expecting an outcome from you. But when it is just you and your vision and your goal, and nobody else knows about it, any day you're tired, you give up because nobody's going to ask you a question. I don't know if that makes sense to you. Follow, you're here now. I hope you don't go out again.
By God's grace, I'm going nowhere. Thank you so much for all you've shared. I know that, our guests from the comment section, they've been asking very insightful questions and you've been giving us very insightful answers. So thank you so much for that. I know you're a leader that likes to read a lot. I know you consume a lot of materials. I know you also have mentors, or people that you encounter in literature, in media, and the rest. So can you share an inspiring story or an example, in your own experience of someone who you have found to be very determined and visionary? Because we would like to learn from the life of this person or stuff. So over to you, sir.
Did you see if I didn't get that. Come again, please.
Okay, I said I know you have, a lot of leaders that you listen to. I know you have a lot of mentors that you look up to. So we would like you to share an inspiring story of someone who you have found to be very visionary and determined, so we can, learn from this person as well. It could be you, you know.
Yeah, frankly, I fall in that category. For the purpose of this question you asked, I will talk about my mentor, Mr. Oguchukwu Emeago. If anyone have heard about him, he's someone who his life is evidence that no matter the obstacle in life, you can become whatever you choose to be. Like my mentor actually, someone who he tells me a story. He said when he was born, 1 year, 6 months, he had polio. Okay, so and
Amazing.
my mentor is he'll be 51 this year, and he has been on crutches for more than 30 something years. Yes.
Amazing.
Okay, so now think about it. I'm just one of the mentees. He's mentoring multi-millionaires. There are
Wow.
Caucasians in his class, there are Asians, there are Americans, there are like people from all over the world are in his class. And they pay
Amazing.
thousands of dollars to someone who by default, by the circumstance of what he didn't ask for that, but
Yeah.
by sheer determination, by sheer determination, he rose above life circumstances. And
Mm.
today he's celebrated everywhere he goes, right? By sheer determination, that was how he was able to achieve that. As a matter of fact, he's someone that if you see, his life is an evidence that any man can choose to become whatever. My mentor says that somehow it's as if, see, that's the mindset he got. Somehow it's as if God took his leg so that his brain can go to work. Oh my God.
Amazing.
When he shows up and he speaks, he trains, you that have leg, we wish your leg is not working. So he's someone who his life is very inspiring.
Mm.
Like the circumstances that faced him, he was able to overcome it. And someone imagine someone who has worked in JP Morgan back in the
Oh,
US, has helped
wow.
access back loop. If you bring if you read his profile, you will read it for minutes, achievements all over. Yet, Amanda says when he shows up for events, when he climbs the stage, he's struggling to, maybe they bring him on a wheelchair. People start doing
Yeah.
a yeah for him. Yeah. But when he opens his mouth to speak, those who are doing a yeah begin to do a yeah for themselves. you know, he has built businesses, built people, like he travels all over the world,
Mm.
achieved a lot of things for himself and have raised a lot of leaders. So he's someone who I look up to. I'm never tired of listening to his sessions. Ugochukwu Melg is his
Yeah.
name. You can check him out on Instagram. He has a lot of videos on Facebook. You could find him out there. So he's someone I love, and I learned resilience, determination, visioning from him.
Amazing. Thank you so much for sharing that and for putting him on our radar. So now we can go and be blessed, from him as well. So thank you so
Yeah.
much for sharing. And before I was cut off earlier, by the poor network reception, I was asking that, have you ever been faced with self-doubt? Like, because imposter syndrome it fears no one, it has respect for no one. So like, have you ever been faced with self-doubt in achieving your goals, and how did you overcome those?
Talking about self-doubt, everyone who you see who is doing amazing stuff have had self-doubt at the time. What is courage? Courage is not the absence of fear. It is moving forward despite the fear. That's what courage is. So most of the
Doing
times,
great.
yeah, that is what it is. So doing it anyways. So as a matter of fact, having self-doubt, I wouldn't say, oh, I've never had self-doubt. Like
Mm.
sometimes I have said some things to people because as I say, I declare the vision, I declare the goal to people so they know.
Mhm.
I kid you not. Consistently. When I want to achieve something, I say, this is what we're gonna do. And once it enters my mind and I say, this is what I'm gonna do, I'm going to look for someone to begin to tell the stuff. So next time when I meet you, I'm telling you, see what you're going to do. Hey, see what's gonna happen.
Mm.
And that is that the more you communicate it to more people, the bigger the universe hears it. When you're going home, you don't know when you say it to someone else. Then when you say it to someone,
Yeah.
before you know it, what was an idea becomes a news, becomes, the vision is transferred to different people. At one time or the other, I've had self-doubt. So, but how do you overcome self-doubt? I don't know if you can still hear me. How do you overcome self-doubt? You can overcome self-doubt by pulling your previous records. by pulling your previous achievements. There were things that came to you and you felt you could not achieve them, but you were able to. When you go back and say, oh, in 2009, this came and I overcame. In 2015, this came and I overcame. This, I set this goal and I was able to crush it. Oh, in 2017, I set this goal and I was able to achieve it. Why not this one? Why not this one? With that kind of mindset, right, you are going to quench the self-doubt. That is why I say most people who are moving forward and getting things done, they are not just getting it done because they are special. They are getting things done because they have a credential which they reference at every point in time. There was one guy in the Bible who did something really amazing. His name is David, right? When he came to Goliath, there was self-doubt. He doubted himself. Is it possible? Can I even fight this man? But he pulled out his record and said, at a time I was in the bush and a bear came, I killed it. A lion came, I killed it. Who is this man that I cannot deal with? As a matter of fact, his antecedent gave him the mindset despite the fear. His antecedent gave him the mindset to move forward despite the fear. As a matter of fact, anytime you have self-doubt, anytime you are beginning to doubt, is it possible that I can do this? Come on, make reference to the things you've achieved. Make reference to the things you've been able to overcome. There are a lot of obstacles that have come your way and you were able to overcome them. When you are feeling, I'm feeling sick, there was a time you had much more dangerous stuff and you overcame. When you face a challenge in achieving your goal, or you set a goal and you're thinking, can I be able to achieve this? There is something that you have achieved when you never knew you could. And one thing about this is that sometimes you are afraid that the obstacles ahead of you are stronger than you. But when you're able to gather the courage and move, you see that they don't even have up to 1/10 of the powers you ascribe to them. Most of the times when you move forward despite the fear, you notice that the obstacles that pose as if they are threats don't even have 1/10 of the powers you've ascribed to them. And one of the things that should make you move forward despite fear, despite self-doubt, is you don't know if those things that pose as challenges are the things you need to overcome to get the diamond, to get the gold. And I always say, if the road is void of obstacles, it does not lead to anywhere significant. Anytime the goal does not scare you, then it may not be significant when achieved. If the goal doesn't make you feel, can I do this? Then it may not be very significant when achieved. What I'm saying is, any goal that you're going to achieve and it will be significant, there will be an element of self-doubt. Because if you can achieve it by your current capacity, then it's nothing big to do. It is because it's bigger than what you currently have, it's bigger than your financial resources, it's bigger than your current capacity, that you are now saying, oh my God, how can I? If you have all of it figured out, then it's not a big goal. I don't know if that makes sense. If you have all of it figured out, then it's not a big goal. I hope I'm still here.
Amazing. Yes, you are. It does make so much sense. Honestly, like you said, if the goal doesn't scare you just a little bit, then it's probably not as transforming as it's going to be. So thank you so much for sharing that. Now our last question for today is, looking back on your journey, that from the beginning, from the schoolboy that you were, the school entrepreneur, to the serial entrepreneur that you are today, looking back on your journey, what will you say is the most important lesson, or what will you say you've learned about the importance of vision and determination in achieving success?
Okay, I would say that from the time I started school till now, I would say nobody's coming to help you. Nobody's coming to help you, right?
Nobody's gonna save you.
Nobody's coming. Yeah, I'm telling you, nobody's coming to save you. So you have to decide exactly what you want out of life and decide you're gonna pay the price to get that happen. That was the part I chose. That was the part I chose. As a matter of fact, I would say what is it was I'm still very smart, intelligent, but I didn't have the resources to go to school. But out of sheer determination, I said I was going to go to school. And that's what I always say to people. The evidence of faith in your vision is the steps you're taking towards it. There is no other evidence. The evidence of faith in the vision you want to achieve is the steps you're taking towards that vision. If you aren't taking steps towards it, then there is no evidence of faith. Right? So what happened? Why did I say so? In 2000 and when I was seeking to that was when I was looking for admission in Futo, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. I didn't have the money to go to school. But one day I stepped out of my location and went to Futo to go check out the school. I had gotten admission. I didn't have money to press acceptance fee, all of the things that you pay as a new student. I didn't have all of that. So
And
I
you
had
had a good jam score. You had every
my
requirement.
jam score was on point. I scored 277 in jam, 264 in post UTME. My name was second on the list in
Wow.
my department. So the story is a long one. I was actually teaching jam students before I wrote jam, so you understand. No, I didn't. I don't think you got that. Did you get that? Like I was teaching jam students before I wrote my jam. I was like a jam tutorial master before I wrote jam. So that sometimes, but I say it sounds really funny, you know. So as a matter of fact, I stepped out of my house and I started to go to Futo and see what the school looks like with the little money I had. So I landed the Futo, and that was where one of my helpers met me. I met my school boy who I was a senior in secondary school, but by this time he was already in he was already in year 2 while I was now in year 1. He made me say, "Hey, Senior Ajah, how are you? What did you come to do in Futo?" I said, "I came to check out the school. Oh, I don't even know. I don't know how I'm gonna do it." But the guy said, "What's next?" I said, "I don't know. Acceptance fee, I don't have it." The guy took me that day and went and paid acceptance fee for me. 25,000. That was what the guy paid for me. And I was like, what if I had not left my house? See, your help is not going to meet you at home. Come on. You have to step out. Someone is out there waiting to support you, waiting to help you, waiting to carry the vision, waiting to work with you. But you have to step out. If you aren't stepping out, no help is coming for you. You have to step out. So that day I stepped out, and that was how I started my journey in school. And, because I knew I didn't have the money, I had to start looking for scholarships all over. I looked for several scholarships and began writing scholarship exams before school even started. So by the time I was in year 2, I had written about 10 scholarship exams. I didn't get any of them, and that was what turned to a business. So I said, since I knew all the scholarship dates and deadline, let me help the junior class guys apply for the scholarships. That was how I started a business of scholarships. And what happened is, while I was helping the students to apply, write scholarship exams, my own scholarship came. That is evidence.
Wow.
That is evidence that if you can help a number of people get what they want, you will get what you're looking for as well. So I wrote a quote and said, "The bringer of sunshine cannot work in darkness." So
Amazing. I remember you shared that with us last time.
yeah, that was the originator of the statement. Because while I was helping the students apply for different scholarships, the one students in my year 2, I got MTN scholarship. And MTN actually fulfill their promise from year 1 till final year. And that was how, from there, you see, sometimes you wouldn't know that the goal you want to achieve is just a tip of the iceberg of what lies ahead of you. It is as you walk in the path expands for you. As you walk in the path expands for you. That's what happens. So while I started that, I was thinking it was just a small stuff. I didn't know it was going to grow so big. By the time I was in third year, I had so much money as a student. Like some days I would make like good money. By 40, I was not paying some people's school fees. You know what that means?
Bola.
Better baller,
Yeah.
not a joke. So by the time I was leaving school, life was good, and all of that. So, and that same stuff I started in year two, first semester, became the business I started doing after school. By the time I left school, I built with my team one of the biggest scholarship information websites in the world, with over 4 million students visiting the website every single month. It was some days ago I wrote on Facebook that I helped over 1,000 students get a scholarship in Futo before I left school, just in Futo alone. And the evidence, if you get to my Facebook timeline, you will see all the beneficiaries who came to testify that they got scholarship because I was a student in Futo. So as a matter of fact, and the fact is that if you let your light shine, if you let your vision be achieved, it can trigger the achievement of other people's vision as well. Your light shining can light the light of other people, as a matter of fact. That's what I want to say tonight.
Amazing. Thank you so much. We couldn't have had a better end note. So thank you so much, Mr. Excel. Can you hear me?
Yes, I can hear you clearly.
Oh, thank you so much for everything you've shared with us tonight. Personally, I'm transformed. Honestly, just with the anecdotes you shared with us in the beginning of last week's session, I had already started working towards new goals, to embodying my goals so I could achieve the targets I wanted in terms of, increasing my capacity in terms of, work and finances. So thank you so much for sharing everything with us. Thank you to all our guests as well for joining us. It has been chaotic, with the network, but it has also been impactful.
Thank you. Thank you so much. And thank you everyone who was on the call. I think she's also caught up by network once again.
Okay, I'm back.
Okay.
So thank you so much, everyone, for staying with us. It has been a wonderful night. Thank you so much, Mr. Ajah.
Thank you.
Have a good night, everyone. All right, sir. Thank you.
Bye,
Bye.
guys.
All right, so everyone, subscribe to our channel if you haven't already, and turn on the notification bell, because we will be releasing the episodes in pieces, releasing some of the videos in pieces, so you don't want to miss out on that. So subscribe and hit the notification bell. Bye, everyone.